Winston Churchill once said, "Everyone is in favour of free speech. Hardly a day passes without it being extolled, but some people's idea of it is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage." But how do you stop free speech from leading to a tyrannical dystopia, such as Mao's Cultural Revolution, Soviet Russia, or Nazi Germany? Well, it's simple. Free speech should exist without political consequence unless it violates any laws. For example, if your free speech incites violence or promotes terrorist groups and organisations, then it should be and is banned. But many groups, including our government, would like to see the exchange of extreme ideas banned because they could lead to tyrannical installments. But ideas are not inherently violent, nor are words. Unless those ideas posed the extermination of an entire group of people, then they're not violent and shouldn't be banned. But unfortunately, what we're seeing across Western Europe right now, and especially in the UK with our current volatile political climate, is the extermination of free speech, because it could lead to another fascist dictatorship, or so they claim. But what they don't realise is that by banning free speech, they become what they're allegedly fighting against, which is fascists. It's what any tyrannical government does on every side of the political spectrum, from Mao to the Bolsheviks, to the Khmer Rouge, to Vietnam. Every country that installs a sense of tyranny also strips away their citizens' rights to free speech. And if we're not careful, that is the road we are heading down. And to be honest, it looks like we're already there. In 2023, there were over 140,000 supposed hate crimes in England and Wales. In the year ending March 2023, the CPS prosecuted around 10,950 of them. In the year previous, 2022, I myself became victim to the government's persecution of political dissidents when two uniformed police officers turned up at my parents' house on a busy Saturday evening to tell them, even though I didn't live in my parents' house, that I needed to take down a video in which I referred to illegal immigrants as undocumented aliens. Although no one had actually complained, they said that someone could find offence in this, and so I was to take it down. Come to 2024, and we've seen a drastic rise in the amount of reports of people being arrested from things they've said on social media. In large part, this is because of the riots that occurred in Southport, Sunderland, Leeds, etc., which the government is using to clamp down on so-called misinformation. Once again, using the age-old technique from Hegelian dialect, more commonly referred to as problem, reaction, solution. After the Roma Gypsy community of Hare Hill, Leeds, rioted as a response to social services removing a child from a local family, the child was returned. After Muslims rioted in Manchester after the Manchester airport incident, the suspects in question were let off the hook for breaking a police officer's nose. And after the 2020 BLM riots in the UK, Starmer and many other politicians got on their knees to show solidarity. Because their reaction to the Islamic community and left-wing groups rioting was to show solidarity with them and support with them, it sent a message to the British population that rioting worked. After what happened in Southport, rather than attempting to ease racial tensions, Starmer sided with the Islamic community and even said he will be bringing forwards new facial recognition technology to help stop far-right extremism.
Crime is crime, and so to that end, I can announce today that following this meeting, we will establish a national capability across police forces to tackle violent disorder, wider deployment of facial recognition technology. In relation to the Muslim community, let me be very clear, I will take every step that's necessary to keep you safe.
This, as I'm sure you can guess, led to even more riots, which later down the road will lead to more draconian measures used to control us. None more damaging than the legislation being issued to curb our right to freedom of speech. A 61-year-old was arrested for chanting "Who the f*** is Allah" at a demonstration in Whitehall, which the mainstream media then used as an excuse to dox him, despite the high danger this could put him in. Now I find this incredibly weird, as when I attempted to press charges against the Member of Parliament, Clive Lewis, and leader of Stand Up to Racism and Socialist Workers' Party in Norwich, Hugh Stannard, for chanting "Fight the fascists" at their demonstration, because at the end of the day we got to use their laws against them.
Fight the fascists! Fight the fascists now! Fight the fascists now!
I was met with this response from the police. There is long-standing case law which allows for protests to be offensive and even disturbing at times. I guess that case law only applies to cases they agree with. 40-year-old Wayne O'Rourke from the Sick of It account on Twitter was arrested and charged with posting written material online to foment racial hatred against Muslims. This is despite the fact that Islam isn't a race or ethnicity, it's an ideology which is setting an incredibly dangerous precedent. Now, what's even worse, right, is that the judge appointed to the case, and I've got a name here, Katerina Shorlin-Knight, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, once handed a suspended prison sentence to Andrew Hugh for attempting to meet a 14-year-old girl for sex. And this was at Doddington Hall in November 2020, right? Now, I wonder if she'll go that easy on Wayne, because it'll be really telling if she gave a paedophile a suspended prison sentence, but then charges a man for mean tweets. In Bracknell, a 48-year-old woman was charged with publishing material stirring up racial hatred. And the list goes on. Now, it certainly doesn't help that Scotland recently passed a hate crime act.
Ow! Get your ass to jail! Ow! Hey, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that! Ow! 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 Sweet! Ow!
Something that we've had in the rest of the UK for quite a few years now, with Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Switzerland and Portugal containing subjective offence-based legislation as well. Now, the problem with having offence-based laws is that in court you've got to be able to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. You're not going to know what someone is thinking. Offence is an incredibly hard thing to prove. Offence is also subjective. What might offend one person might not offend another. Same thing as humour. What one person might find funny, another person might not. And so, why do we bring offensive or opinionated based laws into our legal system? It just doesn't make any sense, does it? No, it doesn't. They do it to control you. Don't forget, the CPS can choose who to prosecute, right? So, for example, if I spoke to a guy about this before at the Free Tommy Robinson demo, right? So say a black person was to call me a cracker, right? And I was to call him the N-word, right? Say we were both to get arrested, yeah? The CPS then can choose who to prosecute. They can go, oh, James Harvey called this person an N-word, let's prosecute him to the full extent of the law. But, oh, this guy called James Harvey a cracker. No, we're going to not proceed there. It's not in the public interest to do so. Right? And that's what I absolutely hate about the hate crime system. But that's not the only thing I find annoying with it. Just like Prevent, I find this system incredibly biased. For a right-winger to be charged with a violation, all they need to do is state their belief in immigration, Islam, or accidentally misgender someone. Whereas left-wingers can spew anti-white rhetoric and face absolutely zero recourse, unless they literally call for someone's death, like Ricky Jones.
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cut all their throats and get rid of them all.
Just to really fortify my point here, here's a compilation of TikTokers claiming that white people are a threat.
And y'all wonder why I say keep black spaces black.
No purpose flower. Transparent mongoose. Untitled document.
It's very fucking annoying because I can't find housing because it's just way too expensive because y'all crackers keep fucking coming here for no goddamn reason. Move the fuck back. Y'all are annoying. Nobody wants you here.
If there's one thing that I wish white people understood, it is this. Your whiteness is the heaviest thing about you.
Now, of course, I wouldn't want to see these people arrested, right? That's the last thing I want. As a free speech absolutist, I will wholeheartedly defend their right to say what they want to say, even though I might find offence in it or might disagree with it, right? That's what free speech is all about. It's about exchanging ideas that we may disagree with and discussing them, sitting down, because when you don't sit down and discuss these ideas, the fabric of every relationship falls apart. You know, the relationship between countries, the relationship between man and wife, etc. But I'm pointing out the hypocrisy here. Whereas if I was to get up on a stage and say, all black people are a threat, I would be arrested for inciting racial hatred. Why aren't these people? It's because free speech is dead in the UK. It doesn't exist. I mean, in that video I told you about earlier where police turned up at my parents' house on a busy Saturday evening over my use of the term undocumented alien, which in American law is a real term, I pointed out that people online call me Nazi daily. And that puts me at risk. Right, that really does put me at risk. And what it also does as well is my granddad was Jewish during the war. So I found that offensive. I wouldn't want to see anyone arrested over that. But I pointed it out to the officer in question on the phone. Well, can you do something about the people calling me a Nazi every day on Twitter? And he backed off instantly. Oh, we're not telling you to take the video down, but you just told me to. And that's the problem, is that our judicial system is completely corrupt, biased, and has destroyed any essence remaining of free speech. But what do we do to get it back? It's simple. I mean, we've all seen Sam Melia arrested over putting up anti-immigration stickers, like we will be a minority in our homeland by 2066, which is a simple fact that people worked out based on the trend of statistics. But I would still happily put those stickers around. I'm not scared, and you shouldn't be either. This is, at the end of the day, it may be difficult, but you've got to stand up for what you believe in. And if that means going to prison, if that means losing all your friends, family, your work, your employment, your money, then so be it. Because without free speech, we have entered a tyranny. But thank you very much for watching. It's been James Harvey from Vox Populi, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.